Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create calamity. I, the Lord, do all these things. If there is no straight edge, then how do you know what is crooked? If there is no law, then how do you know what is unlawful? The first time you did something good, you defined all other things you did as not necessarily being good. Opposites help define each other. God created all that was good, and then as soon as evil was chosen, everything evil could be seen. If God never gave the law, then we never would have known what was wrong. And I'm talking about from the beginning, Genesis. Because God did a good thing, evil, darkness became known. God did not directly create darkness, it is just the result of his goodness. Deuteronomy 13:6-9. If your brother, the son of your mother, your son or your daughter, the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own soul, secretly entices you, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the gods of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him. But you shall surely kill him, your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. God was protecting his people from doing something that would surely hurt his people, which is loving and merciful. God did not force them, but let them out of their own free will choose to obey or not. Serving false gods leads to misery and destruction. It holds true even today. When evildoers are spared and pitied, others suffer, because they come to believe that they can serve false gods and do evil and there will be no consequences. Today, when people say there is nothing wrong with being homosexual, for example, they leave out important information about homosexuality, which is that it leads to depression, high drug use, high suicide rates, AIDS, and other STDs. A miserable life and many times a tortured death. If you loved your neighbor, you would warn them of the consequences of evil actions. Joshua 6:21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and women, young and old, ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. First, what is the context of this verse? Did God want them dead because it's fun to kill? No. Or did God want them dead because they were hurting themselves and others? This is most likely. Here is where many atheists are total hypocrites. They say that God doesn't exist or he is evil because he didn't stop or kill people like Hitler, Pol Pot, and Stalin, or even the Crusaders. And then they will turn around and say that it is evil to kill people like this, in this verse and others like it. The people of Jericho were evil. They put children into the walls. Joshua 6:26 says this, Then Joshua charged them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before the Lord who rises up and builds this city, Jericho. He shall lay its foundation with his firstborn, and with his youngest he shall set up its gates. See Leviticus 18 to see what else God had against these evil people. People hurt other people, and it is just to punish them or eliminate them. When a person has children and one child starts hitting the other, the parent has the right to intervene. This is what God does. He intervenes or gives governments permission to execute justice on his behalf. Read Romans 12:13 or Genesis 9:6 to see where God gives permission. God created beings to live in two stages, here on earth and then with him, if they wanted to, or in hell. The choice is man's. So when God has a people destroyed, he is only moving them from one place to another. Shouldn't the Creator have the right to move his creation from one place to another? I know you think that when a person dies, that this is the end. But according to God, it's just a graduation from one life to another. If you created something, say out of clay, shouldn't you have the right to demolish your creation? If you had the ability to create your own race of people, who would have the right to tell you what to do with them? If your creation complained that you were doing something it did not like, would you be obligated to obey their desire? If you decided to take a person or a million out of your creation to be with you, it is not murder or genocide, and you, being the creator, have the right to delegate who does the removing or killing. By dying, they are transported from one life to another. But if part of your creation rebelled against you because you gave them free will and started killing others against your will, would you just stand by at all times and ignore it? Or if you had a special plan for all of your creation, isn't it up to you to decide what happens to the rebelling crowd? You could delegate the authority of sending this rebelling crowd into the second stage of life. You can delegate this authority to those who are not rebelling against you. Doing this, you can even teach some others who are thinking of rebelling to think twice. Think outside of the box. Don't be so narrow-minded. At the least, consider this hypothetically. Hosea 9:15 through 16. All their wickedness is in Gilgal, for there I hated them. Because of the evil of their deeds, I will drive them from my house. I will love them no more. All their princes are rebellious. Ephraim is stricken. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yes, were they to bear children, I would kill the darlings of their womb. But why? Again, because they were evil. Hosea 13:16. Samaria is held guilty, for she has rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child ripped open. Psalm 137:9. Happy the one who dashes your little ones against a rock. 1 Samuel 15:1 through 9 says similar things. All of these killings are against wicked people. They are not innocent. Read all of each book and you can see how wicked they are. Repeatedly, these verses talk about killing children, born and unborn. It is apparent that you have a problem with these baby killings. From other Bible passages, we know that babies go to heaven. They will not endure the suffering on this wicked earth. How great that would be! The reason for writing these things is for the author to grieve and to express a sincere desire for justice. Imagine if someone molested and killed your dearest loved one. Would you just say, "Oh, well, I forgive them"? I'd hope not. Justice demands the wicked to be punished, and this is what the author is praying for. Anger against the molester or murderer is a good thing. When you watch a movie about the murder of a child, aren't you glad when the good guy catches the murderer, and even if he happens to kill him? Your God-given conscience is what told you that killing without good reason is wrong. But being corrupted by sin, you blame God, even when you have the same sense for justice in you. If you had a problem with the unborn being killed, then are you a pro-life atheist? Evolution and atheism leads to nobody caring if the babies are murdered. Apathy is hatred. Millions of children are murdered because they are such an inconvenience. Without God's permission, all killing is murder. That is abortion, unjust wars, and killing people who don't convert to your religion, including the religion of atheism. Nowhere does God say convert them or kill them. At times he said kill them, and since the time of Jesus, he has only said to teach and preach to them. I plan to address slavery and how to treat your wife in a second video. Check back later.